Have you ever met someone who wants to learn everything? One week they're obsessed with photography, the next week they're learning guitar, then suddenly they're reading about psychology, business, space, and cooking, all at the same time. And if you ask them what their main hobby is, they pause for a second and say, "Honestly, I'm not sure." At first glance, it can look a little chaotic. People sometimes assume that having too many interests means you're unfocused or easily distracted. But psychology suggests something interesting. People with lots of interests often have a very curious type of mind. Their brain is constantly looking for new ideas, new experiences, and new connections. When most people discover something new, they might explore it for a little while and then move on. But people with many interests don't just look. They dive in. They want to understand how things work, why they work, and what else they connect to. That curiosity can lead to a life that looks a bit like a random collection of hobbies. For example, someone might spend a month learning about graphic design, then suddenly get fascinated by astronomy. A few weeks later, they're watching documentaries about human behavior. Their YouTube recommendations probably look like a complete personality crisis. But there's actually a hidden advantage here. People with many interests tend to make unusual connections between ideas. Because they explore different fields, their brain starts linking things that most people would never think to combine. An idea from psychology might help them understand marketing. Something they learned from music might improve their creativity in writing. Knowledge from different areas starts blending together in surprising ways. This kind of thinking is sometimes called interdisciplinary thinking, and it's often linked to creativity and innovation. Of course, there's also a funny downside. If you're someone with too many interests, your brain probably loves starting things, but finishing them is a different story. You might have a guitar in the corner, a half-read book on your desk, 3 unfinished online courses, and a random notebook full of business ideas that seemed brilliant at 2 a.m. It's not laziness. It's just that your brain keeps finding something new and exciting. And sometimes the newest idea steals the spotlight. But here's the important thing to remember. Having many interests isn't a flaw. It's actually a sign of curiosity, openness, and a mind that enjoys exploring the world. Not everyone is built to follow just one path. Some people are explorers. They collect ideas the way others collect souvenirs. Over time, those experiences often come together in ways that make their thinking unique. So if you're someone who constantly jumps from one interest to another, maybe your mind isn't scattered. Maybe it's just curious. And sometimes curiosity is exactly what leads to the most interesting discoveries.